And with that, we are just about set to go. Toney, absolutely the veteran boxer. And Rahman, quite honestly, Rich, to me, seems to be a guy that can be about as good as he chooses to be.
Well, I feel that Hasim Rahman has the best tools in the heavyweight division. I believe he has the best jab in the heavyweight division. He has a great right. He's always been athletic. He gets around that ring well. Sometimes, however, he just doesn't put it all together. He's going right to that jab, and Toney will have to deal with that tonight.
Yeah, I think that's the job of Toney, is to get inside the jab. And we asked him about that today, and he said, I'll just keep coming. I'm not going to stop. That would, I would assume, would mean he's going to take a couple just to be able to get inside. But it is a solid jab. And, of course, he's got a great right hand to follow it.
Well, Toney feels that Rahman actually is a simple fighter. He feels his jab and then a right cross. He's what Angelo Dundee used to call a 1-2-3 fighter. That jab, jab, follow it with the right. But you can begin to time it. And James Toney is a master at timing.
So I think it really does come down to just who's got what left. I think it's that simple. I mean, Toney knows every trick in the book. He's a fighter who is not always spectacular, but what he does is win. And Rahman, when he does win, is very spectacular.
As you take a look at Toney, a lot of you heard that he was getting in shape, and he is in far better shape, even though he still looks a little pudgy around the waist, but much better shape than he has been in recent fights. The 226 pounds that he carried into the ring is the least he has weighed in a fight since he fought Evander Holyfield 5 years ago.
Which, oh, by the way, was his last knockout.
Toney looks to me like he's already attempting to set some traps here for Rahman.
Well, he does do all those little things. He's not doing much offensively. Threw out a little light left jab there a moment ago, but not much going on here in this first round. There was the jab in the right hand from Rahman.
And that's the first example of that. I thought Rahman would be a little more aggressive in this first round.
Toney looking to counter with the right hand. Rahman told us he was going to be aggressive in the early rounds. And so far that has not happened. We overuse the term last hurrah, and yet I think that is what this fight is all about. Body shot from Toney. And as Toney walks away, Rahman sticks him with the left hand.
Rock beginning to get that jab to work now, using it to good effect.
Well, Toney has got to find a way inside the jab. I mean, it is just that simple. It's a bottom line for him in this fight. Now, Toney will lull you into complacency. Interesting first round. Not much happened.
That's one. First round.
But they talk about ring generalship, and I think that would have to go to the corner of Rahman.
It looks like he's trying to size you up by just laying there, taking those jabs to the shoulder. Keep giving him the jab to the shoulder. But when you give him the jab to the shoulder, step off to the right. Don't stay there, okay? He tried to counter the one and it didn't work. Sorry. Okay? Good. Good work. Good work. Hey, it's a good round. Real good round. You hear me?
When you want to off the one, he's going one jab. And slide up like he was doing. Remember how you were sliding up? That foot, that left foot sliding up? Slide up. Yeah. But you see he's throwing ones. Yeah. And he's slow as hell. Okay?
Yes.
So, hey, take him to school like you're doing. Okay? Take him to school.
Well, Toney said, I'm just warming up. I'm just warming up.
That was Shadid Saluki giving instructions between rounds to James Toney, no longer with his longtime trainer, Freddie Roach.
But an amicable parting, according to Toney.
James Toney says, I still love Freddie. Freddie's my man.
Yep.
But he's with Saluki for tonight's fight. And Shadid Saluki is no stranger to big-time fighting. He was the trainer of Layman Brewster and took Brewster to the World Championship.
And Toney worked with Brewster as one of his sparring mates. So Rahman came in here with a pretty simple idea of what it was that he needed to do to win tonight.
Strategically, I'm going to come out, establish my jab, use my height and reach to my advantage. I'm going to hit him ways though he can't hit me. And I'm going to do that for a number of rounds. And then I'm going to just pile up the points, shut him out, round after round after round. And then around about the 7th, 8th, 9th round, I'm going to just go
it's interesting that Rahman told us today that he feels he's got to knock him out. He will not be satisfied with the decision.
Because he wants to be spectacular tonight. He wants to really put himself back into the loop once again. And Rahman was very confident. I've never seen Rock this confident, actually. He said he feels he'll win every round.
Well, I gave him the first one, if that's any solace.
Again, just working behind that jab.
Toney not being very active, hands still at his side, not throwing a lot of punches, but maybe getting a little bit more into punching range. Right now, get a comment from Jay Glazer. Glaze, what do you got?
Guys, you're talking about that jab of Hasim Rahman. James Toney told me before the fight, first round or two, he wants to make sure that's what Rahman's strategy is going to be. Then you'll see me try and come down low to the body and overhand with that three. He said, if I'm going to get Hasim Rahman tonight, it's going to be countering under that jab, coming over top with that hook.
Yeah, seems like a pretty good idea to me. Thanks, Glaze.
And he got one in at close range there not that long ago. While Glaze was speaking there, a nice little punch from Toney. His first real offense that he's shown in the fight.
Well, and he is getting a little bit more here, Rich, into punching range. Now he's back at long range. That's where Rahman wants him. But most of this round, he's actually been a little bit closer than he was in the first round. That's really where he wants to be.
Let me caution you also that James Toney is usually a fairly slow starter. I mean, I remember he lost the first round big to Evander Holyfield, and the second round too, but that's when he began in the third round to really begin to take it on. And now Toney inviting Rahman in, hoping for a mistake.
Well, and that's not unheard of. Left hand thrown by Toney. There's a good sharp right hand by Toney.
I thought that one stunned Rock a little bit.
But again, Rahman is letting Toney get into his comfort zone.
Tony's beginning to make his presence felt now in the fight. It's just in the last 40 seconds or so things are beginning to happen for him.
And again, Rahman just not getting hit a whole lot. A good right hand there by Rahman at the belt.
As they start round three, both fighters landed big shots in round two. I thought that right hand by Toney was the best punch of the fight so far. But he also got tagged at Rahman right at the end of the round. Semi-landed that left hook. And that was nothing semi about that one.
No, not at all. In Rahman's corner, they told him he's trying to lure you in and you're falling for it. And I think there's something to that. Now let's see if Rahman goes to school on it.
Well, it goes back to what you said about lulling him to sleep. And now Rahman complaining of a headbutt. And referee Ray Corona just ignoring him.
Even fight so far on your card and on mine. But again, and I can't help but mention this, Toney is in his comfort zone. He's in his range.
Rahman wants to keep this fight at a distance. He wants to keep it an outside fight.
And there's a right hand by Toney. And Toney, look where he is. He is inside once again.
Toney is a master inside, and he will absolutely pick spots to hit you, to begin breaking you down. He did that with Holyfield.
And a cut over the left eye of Rahman, and I think it was caused by a headbutt. And it was another little push with the head by Toney right there. Another good shot right there by Rahman. And that cut is in a place where if it goes on, it could be a problem. That is a pretty serious cut. It's over the top of the left eye. Good left hand from Toney. I think that cut could be a factor, Rich.
Yes, it could, and it looks to me as though it's bothering Rahman a little bit psychologically in this round. He's pawed it a couple times. He complained to Ray Corona about it. I think he's aware of it.
Toney trying to walk down Rahman.
Again pawing.
Good right hand for Toney. And a left and a right to the body. Rahman's letting Toney fight his fight, and that's the difference right now.
Rahman's going to have to gather himself. He said today, he said, this is a must win for me. I could never convince myself that I'm still a contender.
And I think that buckle the legs of Rahman clearly got his attention. And I think your point's well taken that that eye is bothering him.
He's clearly concerned about it, and Toney's punches are having more effect than are Rahman's.
And And Rahman again allowing Toney to be where Toney wants to be. Big round for James Toney. And the doctor is in the ring, and I believe they're going to stop this fight because of the cut. But they will not yet go to the cards.
James Toney thinks he has won. He has not won. They ruled that fight an accidental headbutt. James Toney thinks he has the victory, but I don't believe that he has, because we checked with Ray Corona, the referee, before the bell for the round. He said it was caused by an accidental headbutt. Hasim Rahman was saying between the round, telling the doctor that he could not see clearly, and the ref just said, then the fight's over.
No decision.
This fight is going to go into the books as a no contest or no decision.
That's right.
And I think we're going to probably have to see James Toney and Hasim Rahman do it a third time.
Well, this was a good go so far. There was no question about it. Both fighters came in here ready to fight. And it's a shame. You hate to see something like that happen in a fight like this. Here's another look at it.
All right, we're going to see now, because Rahman claims it was a headbutt, and here they come, and there you see Toney coming down from underneath, and Rahman immediately complaining about it. And you'll see the cut open as a result of that headbutt. It was a deep cut, Barry, and it was going to bother him. And we thought he was being bothered in that last round. You could see that it was doing something to Rock.
He is saying that he still can't see out of that eye. The cut, as you see, is above the brow, well above the brow.
It was a very deep cut. And this is a very disappointing end to this bout. But it wasn't the cut. It was the vision, apparently, that Rahman was complaining about.
The fight was stopped by the ring physician, and he did it. I thought he did it in really good fashion. He was no nonsense. He made the decision very quickly. I think it's the right decision in this case.
Well, it's a clear headbutt. I mean, and when it's called immediately by Roy Corona. Now you see Dr. Paul Wallace in the corner. He says, no, the fight's over, because he was talking to Rahman. He was asking Rahman the questions, and Rahman said, I can't see clear. And the doctor went in to confirm that again. He says, you can't see? He goes, I can't see clear, and that was it. And he goes, then the fight's over.
It will go down as a no-decision fight. I'm sure that we will see it again.
James Toney, his immediate reaction was he thought he had a TKO victory. Not a TKO victory, and now James Toney realizes, and you can see the disappointment on James' face. It's written all over him. I thought that he was getting on top in that third round, Barry, and he had landed several clean punches. But again, I thought psychologically, Rahman was being bothered by it. He was concerned about it, and it was throwing his game off in that third round.
No, I think that's exactly right. I think Toney was starting to take control of the fight. Let's get a comment from Jay Glazer. Glaze, how do you see it?
Well, guys, James Toney clearly upset, thought he had won the fight, is not happy. He actually thinks that Hasim Rahman had bailed out of this. He thinks that Hasim Rahman had used this as an excuse. Obviously, this was a doctor stoppage. That's official. The cut, we can see it's a nasty cut. Blood spilling into Hasim Rahman's eyes. We'll hear from Toney and Rahman here in a second.
I'm not sure what the judges' scores will reflect, Barry. I think the second round was the one that was in question. First round seemed to clearly belong to Rahman. Third round seemed to clearly belong to Toney. Second round could have gone either way.
No, I think that's right. Now, Toney feels that Rahman quit. I don't think that's absolutely not true. That's an emotional reaction on the part of James Toney. You can see the cut. It is a nasty cut. It would have affected the outcome of the fight. That said, Toney was starting to dictate the fight, even though we were only in the fourth round. We're coming back. We'll wrap this up on the other side of this. All right, we're going to go up to Jimmy Levin Jr. in a moment and get the decision. All kinds of consternation. Rich, what do you know?
Right now, there's a controversy over whether Rahman retired in his corner or whether the doctor stopped it. Because originally, Ray Corona, the referee, came over and said to us, the doctor stopped it, it's no decision. But now there's a controversy over whether or not Rahman actually retired before the doctor stopped the fight.
All right, let's listen into the corner now and see what happened between rounds and the dialogue between Rahman and the ring physician. Here it is.
The headbutt, wasn't it? Yes.
It's not clear.
Far be it from me to pass judgment, but it looked to me like the doctor was the one that stopped the fight, not Rahman.
But if they say Rahman stopped the fight, then Toney will win.
Well, that's which I believe will be the decision. Here's Jimmy Lennon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 3. A referee in charge, Ray Corona, stops a contest upon advice of our ringside physician, who received information from Rahman that he could not see out of his left eye. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is ruled a technical knockout in favor of the winner and new NABO heavyweight champion, James Lights Out Toney.
Now here's a big surprise for you. It's a boxing match, and there's a controversy. Who would have thought of that?
They're a little nonplussed, as you might imagine.